Hi, beautiful Scorpio. This is Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage. As always, it's wonderful to be here with you, and I want to make a special welcome. Spirit is saying for all the folks who are new. Apparently, there are a lot of people who come month on month who discover this channel because it's still relatively new. But welcome. It's really wonderful to have you here to join us, Spirit says, and for all the returning viewers and subscribers. I'm so happy to see you again. I wish that we could do this in an interactive way. And I'm getting a lot of chatter from Spirit about that. So I think that capacity is on its way in my direction. That's what Spirit's telling me. This is the image for the cards for May that you're seeing. We're going to jump into the reading in just a moment. I want to say hi first. Hi, everybody. As if you're new, you don't know, I'm a clairvoyant intuitive channeler, and I work with my spirit guides and I channel messages, and some things started to happen in my life that eventually brought me to YouTube, but it was all focused around my ability to understand the people in my life and their soul journey, and I began having visions and dreams and astral travel regarding that topic. So here I am on YouTube. I never sort of expected to be here, but I have a little mission that's unfolding, and I do my best to just get out of the way. And I have been directed to these beautiful cards, the Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck, developed by Caitlin Matthews. So as we go through the reading, pay attention to how the message unfolds. The rows, the way the cards are aligned, the diagonal from the bottom corners upward toward the top, with your energy standing right in the middle of that shift and change. It'll give you a deeper understanding of how the energy is winding its way through the reading for you in this particular month. So for all the new folks who don't know, I do have a website. It is moonrisecottagesoultarot.com. Everything's there. If you want a reading or distance healing, or you want to explore all the offerings I have, many, including signing up for the live stream events that happen in a subscription service way, go to the website. It's always posted just below the video. There's also a link right on the photo on my landing page for YouTube. Just click on it. Everything is there. It's really easy. You can sign up for your reading, look at the calendar, choose your own time slot in a way that works best for you. It'll take you to PayPal. The day before your reading, you're going to get a reminder. You'll get a confirmation of your payment, and you'll get a reminder. So I've done my best to streamline that, and let's jump in, okay? So we've been having a discussion, Spirit says, about the movement of your energy in a particular way in 2018. And Spirit's asked me, so I'm going to do a very quick review. So take a look at the energy. Look at the bottom left corner. There we see the beautiful judgment of skill. And we see this woman having come to this place of rest and beauty, just pondering her past and preparing to go forward into her future. And the energy moves forward through the Liberator of Devotion, up to the right, and then onward to a soul journey, a place of new beginning. Very apropos when you come to a moment of rest in your life. Judgment about what has come and what will be. And on the opposite corner, we see the beautiful augury of battle. Also moving through this incredible portal, liberating your devotion into a prophecy card. So what's significant about your reading this month is that in this lower right-hand corner where we see the augury of battle, that also is a prophecy. There's a lot going on for you. This is a pivotal moment in the year. Something is continuing to shift and change. And when we reach the midpoint of the year, which is next month in June, I believe another significant turn is going to happen because of the way the readings are coming out. So that having been said, take a look. Here are the cards for February. Just take a look at those corners and see how the energy was rising. More notation about journeying, prophecy, things falling away, and taking on the mantle of the sacred initiate, and the outcome having to do with becoming a sacred touchstone of knowledge in your own life, for your own purpose, about your own journey. And here are the cards for March. Again, look at the corners. The King of Art is in the lower left-hand corner. And like the month before, we see the chalice. Now it is in the central position. That which no longer serves you falls away. Above the King of Art, we see the beautiful seer who worked directly with the King of Art in order to help him understand the future of his lineage. Really amazing. And above the chalice, if you look upward to the right, we see the Perfecter of Energy. This is the movement that is happening for you. And on the bottom right, the Spinner of Growth, a major arcana card, helping you spin the energy in your own life to bring renewal and into the realm of the Decider of Will. Male energy in both places to help you move forward, accompanied by the feminine energy. And the outcome card, a discussion about reintegration and coming home to yourself with the sacred realm. Amazing to me. Beautiful. In April, we see another image of yourself continuing to transition and change, but the awakening and the reintegration clearly happening. We see the discussion card on the center row on the far left. Last month, it was in the opposite position. It's interesting how the movement of that energy, do you see how that has transitioned inside the reading? It is now the bridge card, taking you into this journey of pondering in the light of the full moon about harmony, bringing your full imagination to that place. And again, we see the Perfecter of Energy in the very same placement from last month. And this time in the human walk, the bottom left, we see a notation that on the new moon, through the phases of the moon, we come to an awakening that allows your energy to flow upon the earth in an energetic way, allowing you to take up what is meant for you to touch the stone of your own destiny. And right next to that, we see this young man who's engaged in that very activity, sitting in his destiny, having a discussion about the turning of his spiral, and walking into the realm of becoming a wisdom holder. And if you look at the card next to that, that's a strength card. The energy rises through the central position that you take, rising to this pinnacle where you are in communication with the sacred realm in order to imagine harmony. The outcome card is the beautiful Queen of Knowledge. She is there to weave together the strings of your destiny. It's lovely and astounding movement. And here we are in May, talking about the thread of that message continuing forward, having been left off, if you will, with the notion that the strings of your destiny continue to be wound on the spiritual realm. And here we arrive in May. One of the things that Spirit is prodding me to speak with you about is the notion, I'm going to toggle back one more time, okay? There's April. Look at the central vertical column of cards. Coming into a place of destiny, hand in hand with the spirit realm, in order to take up an initiation for the purpose of perfecting your energy, in order for the universe to be able to wind the strings of your destiny, weave them rather, and having taken up that task, I don't know why Spirit wants me to talk about it this way, so I'm just acquiescing, okay? Look at that. There you are, having had your initiation into this next phase of your soul journey, the amulet that was being received is now around your neck on the human realm. That's pretty astounding. Spirit wants to focus sort of on this notion as I go through the reading. So when we look at the spirit message, the theme that comes out over the top about this reading, we see the beautiful warrior of art having emerged, and again, into a journey, from a journey and into a new place. Completely transformed, we see the purple-blue garments. That is the great passage tomb at New Grange. This beautiful warrior has magic in his hands. He is imbued with the sacred energy. He is a warrior, but he has no weapons and no shoes. And so what Spirit wants to talk with you about today, what the message is coming through about this, yes, there's sort of an indication of all the things that came out since the winter solstice of last year. If you're new to the channel, skip through some of those readings and you'll see the thread of discussion. So last month we talked a lot about transformation and emergence, with a focus on the transformation part of emerging. For you, this month, as you walk your walk, Spirit says, what is happening is that you've emerged into the place of the warrior of art. The warrior of art is able to do battle, if you will, to exist through his days, Spirit says, utilizing the energy of the heart chakra. That's what this is about. A very loving soul who uses love energy to walk through the day-to-day existence. Having emerged and been transformed because of this incredible journey, and for you, Scorpio, because you've taken on the mantle of the sacred initiate many times in the last year. Okay? So that's the theme of the reading. Those are the notions the Spirit wants to talk with you about. They're going to come out through the cards, in a sense, as you walk your walk. So what's interesting to me, in the mythology of the deck, when we look at the major arcana, the dedicator, the sacred initiate, is a major arcana card. It is the card that is just prior to the Liberator of Devotion, which sits in this reading for May in the central position that indicates you, your energy. Look at that. The soul being carried by the shaman across the portal into this realm. This is sacred feminine energy. This figurine is a Sheila Nagi. You can look it up on the internet. The short story is nobody really knows where these came from, who put them in the places they exist. All we can do is look into the image and try to understand what it means. In this soul tarot deck, this is the Liberator of Devotion. So, in a sense, when you take a soul journey, depending on what you believe, we come into this realm. We must arrive here through the feminine portal. It is the way Spirit intended it to be. And so when we see, I'm going to toggle back, when we see this card sitting right next to the warrior of art who has just emerged from his death journey, death and rebirth, transformation, re-emergence, and into a place of love, being a warrior of the heart chakra. Your energy standing next to that, being acknowledged that you've come through the portal in your human life, with your devotion coming into a place of liberation. So this is another message, a deepening of this message of change and transformation and the removal of blockages in your life. It is about clearing the way for liberating change to allow you to let go of old habits. It has to do with a significant change of consciousness. The Liberator of Devotion, its job, if you will, is to release the soul into unconditional love and liberation if we can humbly face and befriend the change, the little death, if you will, that needs to come. And in order to do that, there are things we need to let go of. So to have this coming, Sitting right next to the warrior of art, the art of leading and living from the heart chakra. Very auspicious, impactful messaging this month about your liberation, your change, your transformation into the ability to focus and function from that part of your being. It is something that is the greatest challenge that we have as human beings. Always the greatest challenge of the sacred warrior is the battle that we do with ourselves. And that's why the warrior of art has no weapons. It is about coming to a place of love as transformation and releasing fear. What I love about this is that this pair, male and female energy, sitting in this place right in the center of the reading, we see on the human walk, the bottom row, the first card is the judgment of skill. And we see an indication of this beautiful woman sitting in this peaceful surrounding. Let me show you the card before I chat around about it. There she is. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, Spirit's talking about the butterfly that came here to visit me. There are some videos on the channel. You can go look at the readings for last month if you don't know that story. But that's the judgment of skill. Did you see her shoes? Blue shoes. Her walk has been transformed. She is still dressed in her passion. She has a vessel in which she can collect life energy, love energy, abundance. And the vessel is her, and she is dressed in the passion of that notion. Spring having arrived, flowers in her hair, she sits in a quiet place, a tranquil place, reviewing what has come before and pondering this new walk. And she sits before this beautiful body of water, indicating love energy and the flow of abundance. All the things that water means here on the earth. You can, Spirit says you can spin that out as widely as you would like, and the answer is yes to all of it that comes to you. Okay, so there she sits, pondering her new existence and where she's been, having been transformed, having been through this transition, emerging into this place of the liberator. Her devotion, her love, her heart chakra, having been liberated, she sits in this way. Feminine energy. And the woman of battle sits next to her, and they gaze, in a sense, into each other. The woman of battle is a very strong, clear, articulate individual. She has been through her transformation process. She holds her personal power in her hand. She is often, because of her clarity and her strength, the winds of change blow through her hair. She has her sacred amulet on, and she stands looking at that which is about to arrive. She is often the first one into the gap. She stands in her life one hand open, allowing change to come. Very brave and very strong because she is so clear in her self-knowing. And in this reading, she's looking directly at the process that is going on in the judgment of skill. It's a beautiful pairing. And next to her, we see the augury of battle. A new battle. Actually, let me transition back. The augury of battle is a prophecy. It sits below the sacred warrior of art, who sits in a line with the new soul journey on the spirit realm above. Very auspicious, really impactful. Spirit's talking about the tender beauty of these moments in May. So there's the beautiful augury. It's a prophecy. And I love that, when we're talking about, I'm going to toggle back again. When we're talking about the woman of skill and the judgment, the woman of battle and the judgment of skill, that process that has come on, this deep involvement in the shift and change, and the joining of the male and female energy. And I've talked a lot about it. Spirit's transitioning the way I get the messages. So now the focus is beginning to turn toward, now that we sort of get that, and I've been compelled to say it 1,000 times, the next part of it is to understand how that creates a flow of energy in your ability, whatever place in which you find yourself standing. How do you wield the energy and allow it to flow into its natural next unfolding? And you are going to come into the ability to wield that. That is why the woman of battle is here with the warrior of art and the liberator of devotion. Having a quiet moment in May to take some thought and some pondering and some judgment before the battle begins to unfold. And there it is, a prophecy about what it is going to be coming next. And yes, it's about the flow of energy, the cycle of the flow of energy. A prophecy about the way the battle will now be fought with purity, with love energy, with ethical intention. Having been fully transformed, this is about the moment just before you put your hands on the sacred sword of victory. And I love the notion of all the purity that is depicted in this illustration. And we see this, wrong corner. So this beautiful shining city in the background. That is what we are working toward. I love that this arrives as a prophecy about this woman who's had her initiation, becoming liberated and emerging and having been transformed. Here she stands now. The energy begins to flow through, Spirit says, the factors of her initiation and the feminine energy that comes to this type of battle with the assistance with the beautiful sacred male energy of intention. It's beautiful. And of course, the beautiful bridge card that has to do with allowing the energy to flow from our human journey and connecting and reflecting that which happens on the soul level as we walk. And this month, it's a major arcana card. Another beautiful sacred feminine energetics, Spirit says. This is the mover of energy. Of course, there's the beautiful sacred mother bringing new growth and gazing upon this journey. So, in traditional tarot, this would be the chariot. And often depicted with two horses and all of those things. Okay, no disrespect to anybody, Spirit saying all that nonsense. What the meaning is about, and I've said this a whole bunch of times. It's the power that you are vested with. It is the energy inside of you. And yes, it's about the stars being the planets being aligned and the type of movement that's happening right now, which has to do with the journey. There's a lot of journeying with Chiron. So go look at the astrology of the last month or two and understand where we're going, and this will give you some better context. This is about the fertility of the moment and the feminine energy having been empowered and activated to bring movement. And it is the activation that creates the movement, not the horses. The horses are a symbol. So understand what the symbology is, and you'll understand the deeper meaning of the card. Okay? So that's the bridge card. And above that, the next prophecy. So we have prophecy embedded in the male energy flow, and we have prophecy embedded in the feminine energy flow. Crisscrossing the reading from both corners on the bottom into both corners on the top, the human realm and the spirit realm. Look at that just for a second, and you'll see what I mean. It's very interesting to me. It is about the initiation that you have been given and the way the energy pattern is meant to unfold for you as you come into this form of liberation. So the beautiful augury of art is about the beginning of happiness and the art with which we are able to meet our challenges and stand in front of the sacred cauldron, if you will, of divination and healing. Bringing yourself into a place of abundance and understanding. Love energy, which brings the beginning of happiness. we often pin our happiness to things or other people. This is about coming into happiness inside your being because of the journey that you're on and the emotional growth that you have the capacity to attain, which brings a lot of joy and pleasure, and you become very receptive. So the prophecy here is about the way forward with the mover of energy, the way forward into this place of heart chakra abundance and growth. And so, on the spirit realm, what is the way in which your growth will come forward? The prophecy. And the next card is the King of Battle, who stands above a vertical column inhabited on the human realm by the Woman of Battle, who has had her transition through the Liberator of Devotion. The King of Battle is a very sacred figure, and actually today's the full moon. I love that he has arrived here to help continue the flow of the message and the energy. So there's been a lot of chatter this month about reintegration, the soul into your human awareness and vice versa, and emerging into that reintegration and the journey that comes because of that. So the King of Battle was a sacred figure. He was a real figure in history. He lost his hand in a battle. Let me show you the card. And when he lost his hand, he was no longer allowed to sit on the throne. One of his devotees fashioned him a silver hand, which gave him then the ability to sit back in his place. It was a very mystical journey took place. And eventually, his human hand grew back, and he was able to regain, in a very new way, something that had been lost. So the Spirit's talking about, that's the part of this that Spirit wants you to think about. On the soul journey, something is being regained because of the battles of your life here in the human realm. And it's feminine energy, okay, the Woman of Battle, because it is about new growth coming through into this shift and change. All about shift and change from a perspective of growth. That's why the initiation came, and we're seeing the warrior in the image of feminine. I love the way it's coming through. And on the soul level, we see the King of Battle, who had to transform himself, had to go through all these trials and tribulations in order to have the sacred passage that was meant for him, so that he could lead the people forward in a way that was aligned with the sacred. So I'm going to transition. I want to show you the cards from February. Look at the very center, the place where your human energy was. That is the foundation of art. The student who went into the sacred hut in order to have the awareness come to them so that they could grow into their spiritual destiny, actually they were traveling into the realm of the King of Battle. It was the King of Battle that created the sacred hut based on the journeys that he had, so that people could go and connect with the sacred realm and be plunged into darkness, to have a very pure journey, uninterrupted by the factors of human existence around them. And so, of course, we see the King of Battle sitting there at this point, after these months of shift and change and growth and the initiations that came, looking right into the soul journey. Of course, it makes perfect sense to me. Beautiful Scorpio. So we see the soul rising in its slumber through a portal, intentionally moving into a journey in order to come into the realm of the sacred bowl, the sacred cauldron, and turn the spiral of destiny through its journey. So we see a reflection of the human realm, the way in which we slumber metaphorically as humans, and what our soul intention is. it rises and goes through the portal. Again, we see something that looks like a gravestone, transitioning out into the universe to continue on this journey. It's a fantastic array of cards, and not just that they exist, the way in which they come, the placement in which they inhabit, Spirit says, this month. So, when the reading's done, let it sort of sift into you and just look at the cards. I always sort of leave some space at the end of the reading that's just the cards in silence, so you can do that. Spirit wants you to come back a few times this month and check in with yourself about this, okay? The beautiful outcome card is a major arcana card. That is the sun card, standing in the light of the sun. All the things having been discussed, that's a major arcana card. I love that it sits next to the warrior of art. I mean, sometimes to me, I feel as though the spirit realm is really literally speaking to you in this type of conversation. So, we see the warrior of art, having been transformed, having moved through its journey, having reemerged here with a new type of ability, having been liberated. And we see the outcome of this journey, the protector. This is about Beltane. So here we see this person who has emerged. Spirit lately has been talking about, marked with the spirit mark, right? The tattoos. See the shoes? Purple, just like that woman of skill, the judgment of skill. You emerge through this journey. The outcome is standing in the light of the sun, in the light of abundance. Having been transformed, there's the sacred spiral, standing on the sacred ground of the ancients. A lot of abundance coming because of the journey that you've been making. The protector, that's the protector of lore. I apologize, forgot to say it. So the protector of lore, I want to read to you from the text a little bit. It's about, of course, all the things that you could imagine when you see that image. It's about wholeness and happiness, attainment, success, simple joys and pleasures, and about devotion. About being in a state of joy and having gratitude for life. About being in a place of openness and sincerity, content with your circumstances. This is a notation, in a sense, of Beltane. And so the mythology behind this card is about the days of May and the festival of Beltane, okay? When May and the bright half of the year is celebrated. So, depending on where you are, if you have a chance to go to a Beltane celebration, go for it or make your own. Spirit is really talking with you really loudly about where you are, where you stand, and how you stand with Beltane arriving. And it's a love letter from Spirit. That's how it feels to me. So the protector of lore brings everything and every being into the realm of simplicity and joy, where it can reveal itself and its gifts quite naturally. Align yourself with your true nature and discover who you are in your true self in order to bring this happiness, abundance into your life. Scorpio, I'm thrilled to see this reading for you this month. I believe we're at another pivot point because of the way the messages are coming out. And Spirit says, enjoy your amulet and stand in the light of sun and celebrate the light and prepare for that which comes in June because you are ready. I love that message. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful month. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. And anyone, as always, who wants to share some of their journey on the discussion thread below the video, I'm always eager to hear from you folks. So thanks so much for spending some time with me, and I'll see you again in June.